Why do you declutter and how did you get started? So, as I sit here and fold laundry, let's talk about those things. Well, hello friends, I'm Mary Beth with At What Cost, where simple living and deep faith go hand in hand. It's hard for you to see, I have an entire laundry basket full of my kids' clothes that needs to be sorted, and this is actually what sparked my entire journey. So buckle up, Buttercup, it's story time. I know, should I start it with once upon a time? Once upon a time, there was a mom who was incredibly overwhelmed. It's me. I was the overwhelmed one. No, I was unbelievably overwhelmed. My husband and I had adopted our 3 boys from foster care. Many of you probably know this story, but if you're new to the channel, welcome. Here's the crash course. We had been parents about 2 years or so when I realized that something was very, very wrong. I felt anxious all of the time. I was frustrated. I was actually pretty angry most of the time, and I could not figure out why. I would look around and see people doing life and think, they've got it all together. This is just what adulting looks like. This is what parenting looks like. You're going to have laundry for days, and just as soon as you get it done, it's going to be time to do laundry all over again. And I had just kind of accepted that that was how life normally was, and that I was the problem. It was me. I was the one who couldn't get it right. I was the one who could not actually manage to keep a clean house. I was the only one who was stuffing things in closets before people came over. And I was the only one who was angry for no reason. Y'all, that is a miserable place to be. And if you are that person right now, you are not the only one. There are so many of us who just will kind of suffer in silence and just concede that this is the way life is supposed to be. Well, that all changed in 2019. We had moved into this new house. We had all of this extra space. It was supposed to be the place that everything was supposed to come together for us. And I was still here, just in piles of laundry and toys everywhere. My kitchen, that was probably 4 times the cabinet space that I had at our old house, was supposed to be the answer to prayers. And in some ways it felt that way, but in a lot of ways it really did not. I still could not escape these issues of having too much laundry to do, too many dishes to do, and the house just feeling overrun with toys all of the time. And at that point in 2019, I thought that those were really the 3 areas that we were having the most trouble in. So that's where I started. And a lot of other things were happening. I can share some videos below about what was kind of brewing in this time where we were doing nothing. But ultimately, I got to a place where I just could not manage our laundry anymore. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And so I did what all of us 40-somethings do. Well, I wasn't 40-something then. I was still 30-something at that point. But I did what all of us do, and I went to the internet to try and find some help with all of the stuff that I just felt like everybody else was really good at managing. Oh, here's a little peek behind the curtain. Yes, every last one of these loops that makes these pants condense is torn. And why? Because my youngest child is where hand-me-downs go to die. Yes, they cannot be handed down anymore. He gets a hold of them and they're toast. But I digress. And I forgot what I was talking about. What were we talking about? Oh, yes. So I go to the internet and I am looking for a laundry system. And so I end up on YouTube and I find a laundry video, and there are like 20 laundry hampers on the cover photo. And I looked at it and I thought, I could relate to that. I have a lot of hampers. I could relate to that. So I watched the video and immediately thought, I can't add more things to the problem to solve the problem. I just can't add more things to this. And I can't do laundry all day, every day, 7 days a week. So I kept scrolling until I ultimately found Dawn, the minimal mom. And she says the most simple, profound thing that like should not be earth shattering, but it was. It just was. She said, did you know you don't have to have all of those things? Our kids only have, and then she told about how minimal their wardrobes were. And if I had not been sitting in this room with laundry baskets all around me and everything just overflowing, it probably would not have hit me so hard, but it did. I looked around at the piles and piles of laundry that just never seemed to be put away. They were always here. This was supposed to be our retreat. This is supposed to be the sanctuary that my husband and I wanted, to be able to come here and just relax and enjoy each other's company and read books and get out of the crazy swirl that is our everyday life. And here I was sitting in the middle of Mount Washmore. Now, God used a lot of other things to really change the way that I looked at stuff in our home. But this idea of family minimalism was definitely one of those things. So I knew from that point forward, I was going to do a radical decluttering. And so I did. I washed and sorted every bit of our kids' clothing, all of it. If it was under a bed, I got it out from under the bed. If it was in the closet, stuffed away in a corner, I got it out of the closet and I washed everything. And when I got done and counted all of the hampers and everything that they could have that was dirty, including my husband and I's clothes and the hamper that we had for our towels, I would have had 14 loads of laundry to do. There is no way I would have ever been able to keep up with that. That's like multiple loads of laundry a day that I have to wash, fold, and put away. And I'm not talking about a little minimalism load where you have like the outfits and there's maybe 5 or 10 articles of clothing in that laundry. I'm talking laundry baskets full of clothing. In fact, I quickly realized that just one of our children had 42 pairs. Yes, friends, 42 pairs of underwear. It meant that he could go an entire month and almost a half and not actually need clean underwear out of the laundry. And you know, it's tempting. It's tempting to hang on to all that stuff so you never have to do laundry. But you know what happens when you have all of that stuff? You feel like all you ever do is laundry. It never goes away. It never gets better, and it only ever gets more overwhelming. So I made a hard, fast rule. No more than a week's worth of clothing and 2 church outfits, a couple of pairs of pajamas, and like 2 times the amount of underwear that they would need in a week, because at that time we were still doing some potty training and our oldest children were still doing potty training at night. And so we did need a few extra pairs here and there. But for the most part, we went down to the very bare minimum when it came to wardrobe for our kids. And all of the rest of it, I packed up in boxes and I set off to the side. And we lived like that for a few months just to see if we could make it. It was very low stakes. I wasn't getting rid of anything. I was just going to see if I could do an experiment that would allow for our kids to have enough clothing to get them through the week. But when I did laundry, it wasn't so overwhelming. I actually was able to do a small load of laundry, fold it, and put it away because there weren't 3 and 4 and 5 loads piled up that had been thrown on the couch and they could just continue pulling things. It really changed my habits around how I did laundry. If they wanted clean clothes, I had to wash them and dry them. Those are the easy parts. It's the putting away. It gets me every time. Which brings me to another point. If you are struggling to get the laundry put away, it just may be because the dressers are already too full. You feel like you have all these clothes to pull from, and so you don't have to wash clothing as often, and it's easier for you to leave all of your clean laundry in the hamper. But let's be clear about something. That was my pain point. If you are totally fine living out of laundry baskets, you know who I'm talking about. I'm cool with that. That's fine. Live the life that makes the most sense for you. In our family, and I think because our kids have a foster care background and a background where there just was a lot of scarcity, real scarcity, and they did not have enough. Having empty drawers and not really knowing what they can put on in the morning caused a lot of chaos and insecurity in our home in the morning times. And it doesn't feel like such a big deal in the evening when there's low stress to have this laundry sitting around. But all of that anger and anxiety and frustration and overwhelm that I was feeling, a lot of it was coming from this swirl of emotion in the aftermath of not having good laundry habits. See, I got to like talking and I didn't keep doing the laundry things. Look at these socks. Aren't they so cute? They have little hamburgers with smiles on them. They won't always have cute clothes, but for now they do, and I appreciate it. So once we kind of distilled down the laundry to the favorite things, and we knew after several months that it could actually work for us, I donated 11 of those 48-quart plastic tubs to the foster care closet of clothes that some of them still had the tags on them.
And you know what I didn't quite understand at that point, but after talking with Dr. Ashley Guest last week about a missions trip she took to Uganda, it really wasn't about having more stuff to kind of keep that scarcity mindset at bay with my kids. It was really about being more dependable. They didn't need to have 50 outfits to choose from. They just needed to have the 5 or 10 in their drawers so that they knew that they were there. And where this really hits home for me was when Dr. Ashley Guest was talking about the kids in Uganda that she was experiencing. They had one outfit and no shoes because they just don't own them. And it really hit home that even though they have so very little, she also talked so much about the joy and the happiness that she experienced while she was there. And now Dr. Ashley Guest is trying to go back to Uganda to finish the work that she started there. So essentially, she was helping to teach teachers how to teach, essentially. And she's hoping to go back in May. I will leave some information in the description below here where you can find out more about what she is planning to do there, what she's already done. And for a donation of any amount, seriously, y'all, any amount, you'll receive a digital copy of the devotional that another friend of mine wrote called Faithful and True, Developing a Heart for the Nations. It's a 7-day devotional that is really geared towards starting a conversation in prayer and through scripture with God about how we can become involved in both local and global missions. So when you click on that link, it's going to take you to a website and there'll be a drop-down menu where you can select, I want to support. You're going to want to click on the At What Cost devotion in that drop-down menu, and that's what will let me know that you have made a donation and I can send you that digital copy of the devotional. You can find more information about Ashley's trip to Uganda and the one that she is hoping to take in May and again in December at the link in the description below. Now, let's talk a little bit more about how our decluttering journey continued after I went kind of crazy with the kids' clothes.
And yes, from season to season, and certainly when our kids change sizes, I have to go back through and kind of cull through all of the t-shirts. I don't know where they come from. They're like rabbits in the drawers. Like, I put 3, 4 in there, and the next morning there's like 5 and 10. I don't know where they come from, but they do. But on average, we're able to do laundry at a minimum once per week. Now, I often will do laundry more frequently. In the beginning, when I was really trying to build these habits out, I would do laundry on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for my own kids. I knew I could not commit to kids' laundry every single day, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday really gave me a good rhythm when it came to laundry. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would alternate whatever needed to be done, whether it was towels or sheets. But that didn't last long either. Once we reduced the wardrobes, I realized how good it felt to not have so much stuff. And so we went real radical with the towels and the sheets too. So in a nutshell, that is really where the how did I get started and why do I enjoy decluttering? Where did it all come from? Well, it came from a deep desire to stop feeling like a failure. It came from a desire to spend more time with the Lord, which was not happening. I felt so much like I was just running on this wheel of cleaning up and not being able to give my full attention to things. I just felt so overwhelmed. So why YouTube? Well, because I feel like I'm not the only one on this journey. And if you are on this journey too, I want you here. I want you to be part of our community. I want for you to feel the same kind of encouragement that I feel when I look through the comments of these videos and I see other moms and other women who are going through some of the same things, and they say things like, I can relate to that. Or even better, I've made it on the other side of that and it's so good. We all need the community. We need the encouragement. We need the fellowship with one another. And in this little corner of the internet, I hope that that's what you find when you do stop by. Thanks so much for watching today. And until I see you again, keep fighting the good fight.